It is a cast iron emergency. Oh my gosh, we all make mistakes, but this is a big one. This is Cecily from Cecily on Point, and I'm going to show you. You're not going to believe what I did to my pride and joy cast iron. So this is what I did. We all make mistakes, right? First of all, are you ready? Look at this. Awful. This is an emergency, but we're going to be able to fix it. So just come along with me and watch me save this cast iron pan. Again, this is Cecily from Cecily on Point. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe and come back frequently because I will be doing a lot of stuff. But come on, let's get this clean. It's really important to first things first, explain just what happened. Anybody who watches my after show from my Cook With Me know that I clean the cast iron pans to show you how not to let this happen, and that this is my pride and joy cast iron. It is a Dutch oven that was left to me from my grandmother, so it's really my prized piece. So for this to have happened, let me just explain what happened, okay? This is the product of rushing, okay? Cleaned it because I want to be sure that I cleaned it, because I always tell everyone, make sure you clean your cast irons as soon as you're finished and as soon as it's cooled down. So this is what I did. I cleaned it quickly, but I did what I tell everyone not to do. I didn't dry it properly, and I didn't lubricate it. I just put it aside thinking I'd go back to get it, and this is what happened. When I went to go use it, this is what was waiting for me, which is really kind of a mess. But it's no big deal. I'm going to show you how to recover this. This is real life application that I'm getting ready to show you. So let's go to the sink and get started on fixing this. So here are the things we're going to need to get this Dutch oven clean. You first want some good rubber gloves. You need some coarse kosher salt, which I keep in this container. And you're going to need a little bit of oil. I have my little oil lantern. So you're going to need some oil. And of course, you're going to need a good scrubby. That's how we're going to get the rust and restore this back to where it needs. Okay, I got my gloves on. Let's get busy. So here's the best view for you to really just come right into the sink with me so you can see how we're going to do that. First thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of warm water in here. Just a little bit, not a lot, but just enough to kind of cover it. And I want to feel how bad it is. It doesn't feel like it's elevated. It's just a little bit of surface, it looks like. So you see how I'm moving it around with my hand just to kind of move it out. Okay. Next we want to add some coarse salt. Okay, and I'm going to cover the whole bottom. I want to give it a lot of salt. Really get it all covered, because this is the natural abrasive that we want to use. This is what I usually use when I've got something stuck. I put a lot of this in the bottom, because then you can take your hand and you can literally scrub it out with your hand. Really, really good to just cover this whole bottom. Okay, so now you see I've got a good amount here on the bottom. Really a nice amount. So I'm using my hand first to kind of scrub so I can feel what's going on. And you can see that the salt is changing color ever so slightly. Again, I like to start doing it with my hand, and then I'll follow up with a good scrub with a scrubby sponge. Take it into Daddy. And really scrubbing over that area. See how the salt is changing? And I'm getting all along the sides too. This is just salt and water that I'm using here. Nothing else but salt and water. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're now going to dump this and put some fresh in. Okay, let's get this all so that we can now pour some of this off. You see how dirty it is? Look at all that coming out. Can you see? I'm reserving the salt because I want to go back, but look at it so far. Can you see how it's starting to like move all of that out? Look at that. Pretty good. And that's just from the salt and the water. I'm going to add just a little bit of oil. That's canola oil. I put a generous amount down here, and now I'm coming back in with my sponge over the oil. Just to really make sure I'm getting everything out. There we go. This is looking so much better. I can tell already. And you see how the salt has absolutely changed color? Look at that. This is looking good now. Okay, let's put some water in here. Warm water. Take a look. Look at how it looks so far. You see? Look at that. How that rust is gone. Look. That rust is gone. I wanted to add a little bit of oil to this because you just want to keep that seasoning and that coating. It's not like this pan needs re-seasoning. It just needed to get rid of that accident, that emergency. That's once in a while going to happen. I mean, stuff happens. And when it does, that does not mean that you need to re-season the entire pan. You just need to go through a couple of steps like this to move that rust out. Okay? That's all. Now we're going to get rid of this salt. And we should be good to go with this. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the cover in so that we can get some of that as well. So here's the cover, dry as a bone, really just a mess. So let's take some of this salt here. Let's just rub it on the outside. And what's nice about this salt now is it's got the oil in it. So I'm oiling it and salting it at the same time. I like to use my hands because you can really get in between the grooves and get everything out that you need to get out. All right, we are now ready to rinse these babies out. Okay, let's get the salt out of the Dutch oven first. I'm going to put that down to drain. And I'm going to I'm going to put some water here. I want you to see what it looks like. Look at that. Can you believe that's the same pan that had that rust in it like that? Looks great. Looks fantastic. I'm just rubbing it around, making sure that I have everything. And now we'll just put some water in here. I'm going to run some nice hot water in here. Make sure that we're getting it nice and clean. All of that rust out of there. Look at that. Does that look great? Doesn't that look fabulous? Just great. All that rust gone. You want to take your paper towel and wipe it out. And look, it's clean. Completely clean. Look how nice this looks. You see? It's back to its original luster. Absolutely beautiful. The back. We'll do the cover, and then I'm going to pull the camera up so that you'll be able to really get a good look at how great this pan looks. But look at it. Rust be gone, not a single trace. Let's get the cover together now. Make sure that we have that all straight. Now let's give it some hot water. And just make sure that it's all completely rinsed. All with the inside. So it's really just a matter, as you saw, of the salt and the oil. And then, really giving it a good rinsing with hot water after. And then making sure that you lubricate it when it's dried and finished, which I'm going to go through with you in a minute as soon as we have these all done. Same, clean, absolutely clean. So we have the same. That's why I like to use a paper towel when drying to be sure that you've gotten it clean. Now let's get the cover, the other side of the cover. So back to its original luster. Okay, so now let's take a look at what we need to do with this now in order to store it properly so that we don't ever have an emergency like this again. But here's how it looks. Look at this. Can you believe this is the same pan? It's pretty amazing, but it's not really that hard as I showed you. You literally saw how it looked. That's how it looked. This is how it came out. Same thing with the cover. The cover looks great. But what you have to do, this is the important thing that has to be done. That wasn't done that time with this particular pan. You've got to lubricate it now. I'm using Crisco because I like Crisco because it's a firm shortening. You see? See the white? It's just a shortening. But that's what these pans need. So you take a little bit and then you just spread it all over the bottom of the pan. This is really important to do. And when I come back for this pan, or if you're doing it, you come back for the pan, you're going to be amazed at how much of this the pan drinks up. But you've got to give it a healthy application when you're putting it on. And then of course we'll go back and we'll take some of this off, but you want to start by really giving it a good lubrication like this. You see how nice it looks? You want to get the back and the bottom. You want to get the entire pan. You want to get the handle. You want to get everything. You really have to care for this. For any of you who have seen any of my other videos, you know this pan is over 100 years old. So it's pretty scary when you open up the cover and you saw what I showed you at the top of this video. This is how it's supposed to look all the time. It's a pride and joy, beautiful piece for doing everything. I have to do the same thing for the inside of the cover. The inside of any cover of any pan or pot a lot of times gets neglected because people just think that, oh, it was just on top, it didn't get dirty. Well, it does. It takes all the splatters. It gets everything that's in the pot or pan underneath it. So you need to make sure that you not only have it clean, but the same thing here. You want to make sure that it's really lubricated inside and out. The inside of the cover more so even than the outside, because the outside is just keeping it covered. It's not getting the same kind of dirt or splatter or whatever you are from the inside. So the inside, you want to make sure that it's clean. You want to make sure that it's lubricated, because this is what's going to be on top of your food inside that Dutch oven. Well, I really hope you enjoyed and see how easy it is to really clean rust out of a pan if you have an emergency like I did. You were really here with me through my 911 of my favorite cast iron Dutch oven. The cover and the bottom. There's nothing like this pan. I do a weekly video, a clean with me, where I cook with these pans and then I clean them afterwards. So if you haven't seen one of those, you can go over to Instagram and see it. But in the meantime, know how to clean these cast iron pans should you ever get a rust emergency like I had. But thanks so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe and come back and see me again in all things cast iron. Any questions, any problems, just hit me up. I'll be there to help you. Take care, have a great evening, and keep cooking with those cast iron. Bye.